Greetings and salutations, this is Crom the Pale, and I am demonstrating Subnautica today. I'm going to take you on a quick base tour to show off a couple of things I've done. Now, for those of you that don't know what Subnautica is, it is a science fiction, survival, adventure, exploration game. This is one of the bases I've made. Should mention there's definitely going to be spoilers throughout, basically showing you locations you aren't going to see until later in the game and items you cannot acquire until later in the game. Now, this first base that I set up was done purely functional. You can see this little lag laser going down into that volcanic eruption there. I have a thermal power plant there. And inside here you'll see my scanning room. Allows me to scan for various different materials and items. And if I go around here, and this is a double-stacked multi-purpose room where I have, of course, all kinds of lockers for inventory, a bed to sleep in, a chair to sit in, some plants with which I can consume for food and water, and a modification station and a fabricator. Over here you'll see I have a ladder. If I climb up the ladder, I'll actually see that I'm above the water line, and I can look out and see the sky and the clouds, the moon up there. This is an extraordinarily beautiful game. That's the life pod. And then if I continue around to here, this will be my moon pool, where I have my puddle jumper. Hop in that, and I'm going to go show you my second base.
All systems online.
Now, I've built 5 bases in this particular run-through. This run-through is on survival mode. This game has 4 different modes: survival, freedom, hardcore, and creative. Now, in survival mode, your character has 4 different ways to die, and if you look down at the bottom left of my screen, you'll see those 4 circles there. One of those is my health. If I take physical damage, I can die. One is O2, that's oxygen. If I am deep underwater and I run out of air, I will drown and die. The apple there represents food. If I don't eat enough food, I will starve to death. And the water droplet represents water. If I don't drink enough water, I'll die of dehydration. In freedom mode, you no longer have to worry about food or water. You can still die, however. In hardcore mode, it's identical to survival, with the one caveat that if you die in hardcore, your save file will be deleted, and that will prevent you from simply saving before you risk doing something. It will automatically kick you out to the start screen, and you'll have to start from scratch if you die in hardcore. In Survivor, when you die, it's similar to Minecraft in that you will respawn in the last safe location you are at, minus whatever items you had picked up in your inventory post leaving that safe spot. Now, as you can see, my second base here is much larger. This was done more as aesthetic than functional. It is still fully functional. I still have the scanning room. As you can see, I've got an aquarium here. It's several stories tall. I have located every egg in the game and hatched them. This is a 100% complete run I've done. I'm going to park down here rather than go in the moon pool. Oops. I'll do a quick swim up and into my base. Now, the last base was powered by a thermal plant. This one has a little more power. I'm running a bioreactor here. You can see I've got some fish in a tank here that I use to power my bioreactor, and the bioreactor itself. And I'm going to run quickly over here. Again, fully functional, all kinds of useful stuff, some larger storage units here. And if I go through here, nice glass walkways, not necessary, but here's my fish tank with a whole bunch of unique creatures in it. And there's my bed for sleeping in and my chair for sitting in, and a couple plants, some for looks, some for food. So this particular base, again, is a mix between functional and just looking nice. It is one of those bases where you don't need to make a second base in the game, but I felt that this shortened the distance between me and endgame content by building this particular base. But I wanted to make it look nice. Now the next base I'm taking you to, my third of 5, and I will be stopping at the third base because frankly the others just take too long to get to. But this next base you're coming to see, it is purely for looks. I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video, tons and tons of spoilers. I'll mention it again. You're going to see locations that you will not reach for many, many hours if you're new to the game. Once you do get to these locations, you do not have to build a base there. I chose to build a base there, not because I needed one there, but simply because I wanted to. I thought it would look good. I have done 100% completion of this game, so be aware anything you see, you're probably going to have trouble locating on your own if you're a first-time player. And I recommend first-time players not watch the video, especially at this point. However, if you're curious, it's not going to give any of the story away, at least not a tremendous amount of the story. I think this is one of the most amazing games I've seen in a long time. They did a fantastic job of balancing the look, the feel you get from the music, the other underwater sounds, along with story elements to create a very terrifying experience. Swing deep. The lighting shifts dramatically. You can go from complete darkness into a lit cave in the blink of an eye. And if you see a fish that looks dangerous, there's a pretty good chance it is. However, there are plenty of harmless creatures in this game. I've turned off my own lights because I'm going into an area which has its own set of lights. Now you probably saw it said ghost tree there. That's the name I've given to the particular tree. It has its own name in-game, so it's not a big spoiler. But as you can see, this is a very interesting location. This yellow-green water here. It's kind of an underwater river. It has an actual name I'm not going to mention just in case people are watching this and don't want spoilers. There's some interesting things here and some very large and scary things that I'm going to do my utmost not to show you. Now this next base was done completely in survival mode, purely as a demonstration of how big a base you can make. In fact, I could go substantially larger, but I chose to stop when I did just because I was getting a little bit carried away, I guess. It's also to demonstrate that there are a massive number of resources in this game. In the early, parts of the game, you're going to have trouble locating all the resources you need to build large bases. But by the end of the game, yes, something like this is possible. Now I've got a couple bays over there. In fact, I could go in them, but I'm going to exit here. Let's swim down. And there's what I call the ghost tree. Got a lot of different plants growing here. And I picture in my mind, this is a research facility that I've set up for, people coming to this planet to do scientific research. So they come in, sign in at the administration here, get a nice little picture frame there, nice little poster about the prawn, and they take a nice long little walk along here, and they get to see some of these unique plant life growing here, and they can look up and see a few things out there and see that amazing structure. Now over here you're going to come into the common area. This is where people can relax and the researchers can just sit around. It has another painting, some a fabricator and a radio, some plants, a vending machine, so if you want to get some chips or if you feel you want a coffee, gotta wait a few minutes for that coffee, but it'll show up. Now if we go upstairs, the next few layers are for housing. Everybody has a little bit of their own personal touches they like to put into these places. Coffee. And here's a familiar face for some people. Weird. Now here's a fish tank. Beware of these guys, they will watch you. Now if you come out here, over here you'll see there's the 2 moon pools. I've got my Jaeger Prime here, and a second moon pool for the other vehicle. Again, some more pictures on the wall. If you come over here, this is our research hub. So we've got some more fish here. These fish are actually quite interesting as they glow in the dark. And there's just a little bit of lab space here for people who want to do some scientific work. And over here, there's yet another bit of lab space here. This one also has a modification station and some storage. And if I go over into this other branch, similar with a couple differences. We've got our, once again, a research center with a bit of an office feel to it there. Here's our cafeteria where we have a lot of food growing as well as a water filtration system. In fact, I'm going to help myself to some plants here. So I'm going to do a couple more and replant. Okay. Oh, I forgot to eat my chips and my coffee. Now if you come over here for your dining experience, we've got some tables set up, and a bench there. If you'd like, you can have a seat and take a look out, snack while you watch the unique view. Now at the far end there, you're going to see that's our power plant. I'm going to hop on down and take a look at the observational scanning room first. So now we've yet to get the quick track in here. We'd like to lay some tracks and maybe get a couple segues if we can, so it's a little quicker to get from point A to B. For those of you that have played the game, you'll note that I used a lot of glass in building this particular tunnel and the entire base and in general. It requires a lot of fortification or reinforcement to build such a massive tunnel. Got another little poster there of our dearly departed Altair Aurora. If we climb up this ladder, you see I have a nice scanning room here. It gives us a nice three-dimensional view of the cave system. And over here, we have an observation deck showing off this magnificent site. I'm going to screen cap that just because. Now I'm going to hop down, and you'll notice at the top of the screen it says we have 4,000 power. Being a research facility, I felt this place needed a lot of power. So I have set up 4 thermal reactors, a bioreactor, and a nuclear reactor. So we are not shy on power at all here. You can see once again I have some more storage, fabricator, battery charger, a few more plants here. The nuclear reactor and the bioreactor are both above. I can exit here if I'd like. And you'll see there's my 4 thermal reactors. So yeah, this is a large, significantly detailed and constructed base that I made. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it. I hope you give this game a shot and play it. It is truly an amazing game. The story is fantastic. It has so much freedom, not just with your ability to create this kind of amazing base, but to simply go out and explore, to find sites that look as beautiful as this. I truly hope you'll give it a shot and enjoy it. And that's all for now.